All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tim Cream with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are going to talk about the weekend, not a blockbuster, but
Unblockbuster?
the unblockbuster of Shazam: Fury of the Gods. It's the sequel to just the first Shazam. So we'll get into our likes, some of our dislikes, and then give our official Spoiler Kings ratings at the end. But before we do, Brian's got a quick rundown of what the movie is about.
All right. Let me get my Mr. Movie guy voice in.
You're going to go for your Don LaFontaine?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don LaFontaine?
With the powers of the gods. Billy Batson and his fellow foster kids are learning how to juggle teenage life with their adult superhero alter egos. When the vengeful trio of ancient gods arrives on Earth in search of magic stolen from them long ago, Shazam and his allies get thrust into battle for their superpowers, their lives, and the fate of the world. Dun-dun-dun. No, sorry.
Yeah.
But no, that's what it really is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, pretty simple story, nothing too complicated. Which I don't know if it's good or bad. We'll see what you guys think about it. But we'll let Brandman go first. What are some things that you liked about it?
I liked that it maintained the tone of the first movie, very light in tone. I think the director David Sandberg kind of gets the character of Shazam, and you know that it should be lighter in tone than say like some of the other stuff that we've gotten in the DC universe. So I like that. I like the dynamic between the Shazamily, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
I liked the. I liked the. What's it called? Well, I don't take myself nearly that seriously, but no, I liked Zachary Levi was very much in his element. I thought. I thought that he did a great job. You know, he was basically running the show. It felt like he was very much front and center. I really liked the subplot with Freddy. I think he was probably the best character in the movie. Like his character arc, his storyline. I think it was probably the one that I kind of found myself kind of engaged with the most. Some cool stuff with the villains, and I'd say those were pretty much mine.
Yeah, there you go. Toxic Gamer agrees with you. So, what about you, Brian?
Thanks.
There are parts of the movie where I was like, I almost was asleep. But there are some parts of the movie where I felt it. I felt like the parts that weren't goofy, that had real feeling in it, were very good. The idea of having imposter syndrome is very cool. Like the idea of when to not want to let go of anything because you're afraid that you're going to lose that family because everyone who you ever loved has left you. You saw it in Last of Us. The idea here makes perfect sense for Billy. You know, it just the idea that he never called her his mom. You know, always called her by her first name. I thought that was those things were just very well done, especially as the details. I love the superhero parts, but I feel like it was very, I don't know how to say, like it was almost like I was watching two different movies. It was going two different directions a lot of times, and it didn't match always. But I thought the story was pretty good. I thought the villains were really good, and I saw Rachel Zegler again. I was happy to see her. I mean, but I really felt like it was just two different. It was going two different directions, and it didn't always match up in the middle of the movie. So, but it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean the hero versions of all the kids I thought were fun. They were definitely entertaining. Adam or the Brody, was it Freddy? The Super Freddy or whatever. and I thought them two, especially the kid who played Freddy, was it Jack Dylan? Yeah,
Jack
and
Dylan Grazer.
Yeah, and Adam Brody. They
matched.
They were the same person. That made so much sense. I was like, oh, okay, you guys like actually talk. You know, it's like you guys are on the same page, which I appreciate that because they play such a big role, like you said. But even like the guy who played Eugene, all of them, I thought they were super fun versions of it. Even was it Megan Good played Darla, the two Darla. I was like, yeah, she was supposed to be very kiddie because she's legit a kid, you know what I mean, like an actual like preteen, you know. So it's like, yeah, you know, so like stuff like that was really well done. Even the funny parts were kind of funny. They did go a little overboard certain times, but not to the level of Thor: Love and Thunder, you know, not to that extent of just like running a joke into the ground. But the jokes were good. You know, I thought the when it was time for seriousness, like to right at the end, and you know with his mom on the parking garage, you know, super nice scene and stuff like that. So it was like it was funny, you know, and stuff like that. But
so bye, big Rosa, mom and dad.
Yeah. But I like just all the super versions of all of them. Yeah, Captain Every Power Jr. it was really funny. Even so like because they were trying to figure out their name, and I was like, I thought that was kind of funny. Like he didn't know what his super person name was, you know, superhero name was.
Like,
so I
dude,
thought that was
see it every single time you want to change the stuff.
Well, one thing I did appreciate a lot, I think I was probably the only person in my theater that was like kind of gasp in like happiness, was Michael Gray, I believe. Was it Michael Gray or Michael Gary? The guy who he played the original Shazam in the 60s showed up right at the end.
Yeah,
and he called him Captain Marvel. And I was like, yeah. You got a double.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, because Shazam was called Captain Marvel originally. He was the original Captain Marvel. You know, so I thought that was cool. So if just that was cool. And then it was said by the guy who played Shazam in the 1960s on TV. Even had the same outfit with the red and the gold collar and stuff like that. I was like, that was awesome. I thought that was super cool. I was like, that's definitely a good shout out, you know. But did he play Shazam in the original series, or was he Billy Batson? He was Billy. Shazam was somebody else.
He was Billy.
But he was
Billy. That's what I thought. Michael Gray or Gary, whatever his name is.
I think it was Michael. I know it was Michael Gray, I think. So that was super cool, you know, just because he wore exactly what he wore in the 60s on TV. It was like, that's awesome. The red sweater with the golf cup.
So
and then calling him Captain Marvel was also kind of a nice little
on. It was right on.
But and then the graphic, I gotta give it, the graphics were really good. Really, really good. In this one, like really surprised, you know, like for something like
with a dragon and
the dragon thing,
the way they did it and all this stuff, and the unicorns, were awesome.
The unicorns were sick. They were so sick. So
it
reminded me of a mobile game. It used to be an Adult Swim mobile game where it was like where you were a unicorn and you basically like shoot things and stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but like you have to upgrade your unicorn, and one of them was like that, where it was like a stallion kind of thing, and then with the metal horn and spikes coming from his side. It was awesome. It was so cool. It was like
the king of all animals.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you!" She got all excited, and then the wizard was like, "Oh no, it's terrifying. It will kill you." And she's like, "What?"
And the fact that she threw up Skittles, it was the cutest thing I ever seen in my life. Like, it makes you love girls. The little girls are just like the cutest, sweetest little things.
And she was just like fearless. Like she knew 100% that was gonna work. Like I was like, and because no one else around them did.
Taste the rainbow.
Yeah, but the unicorns were super cool. The beasts were pretty cool. I think most of the money went towards the dragon, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Because some of the beasts are like, okay, but I wish they would have went more practical effects with some of those beasts. Like put somebody in a minotaur outfit. You know what I mean? Like do some cool like practical like effects with costumes and makeup. I think that would have made things be way cooler. Because then you can save the VFX to the dragon.
But that's the thing that sometimes you need that more, and we're going so far away from it.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, we're straying very much far away from it. CG unfortunately is completely overtaken practical effects when it should be like a nice marriage of both.
Because it's easy.
Yeah,
but definitely. It would look so much better if it had a dude in the suit sometimes. Just would look
with
so
some good
better.
Makeup. Yeah,
it would. It would.
Yeah. So let's get into some.
One more good.
What you got?
Grace Caroline Curry.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that, but I didn't want to come off like a pervert.
In fact, she changes into a superhero. She's still.
But yeah,
she's still the same person.
She's still the same person. I'm like, yeah, you're a superhero. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at it. He's doing the smile again, guys. He's doing the smile again.
He's doing it. Well, yeah. So she was she was like super cool. And then I think her being like the older sister kind of role, like the oldest sibling and giving good advice, I think was kind of cool too, just as a character, and then so you're good and you're pretty, so it was like double whammy.
Yep.
But yeah, although Marta Millins, the girl who the actress who played Rosa, I was like, where did this come from?
It's so funny. That's so up your alley.
It is.
I agree, though.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Brandon's like, yeah. Yeah. But all right. Enough dirty talk. What you got, Brandon? What are some bad things you didn't like? Wait, hold on. Before, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know I've mentioned this in the past, but Warner Brothers really wasted too much time before they decided they wanted to make a sequel. The one thing that I really liked, and I think the one thing that the first movie really nailed was the kind of wish fulfillment aspect. Because, like I said in the past, like the first one was a superhero version of Big, basically, and so I think they really needed to kind of strike while the iron was hot in terms of the kid actors before they aged out of the roles. So that said, Asher Angel in this one, who played Billy Batson, looked like a grown ass man. He almost could have played Shazam himself. Grace Caroline Curry did play her superhero counterpart. Her character Mary's a grown adult in this one, so it really kind of, with the exception of like Freddie, the character of Eugene maybe, and the character of Darla, they really kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. And it really kind of, there were parts that kind of took me out of the movie when it comes to that. Additionally, and it's funny that you mentioned that, when Jack Dylan Grazer becomes Adam Brody, I buy them being the same character, but I think that Asher Angel and Zachary Levi are acting in two different movies.
Exactly.
Because
they had no idea what they were doing. Like,
because Billy Batson, acts like an adult, but when Billy Batson becomes Billy Batson becomes Shazam is acting like a 12-year-old. Zachary Levi's acting like a 12-year-old, and Asher Angel is acting like the 30-year-old he looks like now.
He doesn't
so
look 30.
he looks like he looks like a grown adult. You know,
how old is he actually?
He's
20.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Effer, you look 30. I'm kidding, but not really. But what like the villains were okay, like the Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren characters, but at the same time they were kind of flat. I don't think they did as much for me as Mark Strong did as Dr. Savannah. I thought he was a little bit of a stronger villain than they were. The stuff they did was cool, but that was really it. And I think the other thing that really also kind of really hurt the movie was just the what's it called? Lost my train of thought for a second. Just the way that it was marketed, the delays really kind of took me out of it. There were parts where I was kind of drifting off, at times. I just wasn't as invested in this movie as I was the first. Like I joked about in the past, there were times where I even forgot this movie was coming out.
Marketing. Yeah.
It was just kind of, they really shot themselves in the foot with the way they marketed it. Too many delays. They finished shooting this movie in August of 2021, and now it's and then they BS'd around with the release date. So I just had trouble in that regard being invested, and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. That the Rock's refusal to show up in the sequel, even though Black Adam and the Shazam family are very much connected. Just too much behind the scenes stuff. Just kind of took me out of it inadvertently.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Yeah. So Toxic Gamer said, and this is 100% true. They revealed the whole entire movie in the trailer. Yeah. Once you add up all those trailers, that's more or less the movie. There's some other good parts, but yeah, I mean, yeah, which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, what you got for some bad stuff?
Well, my first thing is exactly what I'm gonna start where Brandon finished. It was Zachary Levi and Asher Angel. That was just not. They were not good. They were not on the same page. They were not acting in the same movie. It didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Which is insane
Levi
because
was trying to do the movie from the first Shazam, and Asher Angel was trying to be an adult, and they just didn't meet up. Like no one said, "Hey guys, we got to put this shit together."
Yeah, and even just kind of going hand in hand with that, that was something that the first movie kind of suffered from. Asher Angel as Billy Batson was acting one way, very much one way, and then Zachary Levi as superhero Billy Batson was acting a completely different way. I never believed that that Asher Angel was turning into Zachary Levi, whereas with other characters I was able to buy that. But
that movie they always said so Shazam was him without the trauma. So when he turned into Shazam, it was who he would be as a child without the trauma. So that didn't bother me. But this movie, he was so stupid.
It was so off.
Dumber as Zachary Levi than he was as Asher Angel, and that didn't make any sense to me. I was like, "Why? How are you dumber? Like that doesn't didn't do anything when everyone else was the same. Everybody else was exactly the same. He was dumber, and it was like, why you gotta make him seem so dumb? And not just a bad leader, but just literally have no brain about you."
Yeah, exactly. And if your superhero counterpart is supposed to be the trauma, explain Freddy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Explain the other characters and why they seem exactly the same when they power up.
Well, I think that what they're saying is that it wasn't just Billy Batson. It's not just in a group home. He's also was given up by his mother and his father, and every home he's ever been in. So I kind of understood it, but they should have stayed with that way.
Mm-hmm.
They should have stayed that way, and then Zachary Levi being a little bit nicer, like a little funnier, but understand the trauma, still see the trauma with him and within his character. I just didn't think that they did a good job with that at all. And I gotta say, it's the same thing we said about holding it off for 2 years. Rachel Zegler, so like she said, she did it right after it was during the pandemic, right? So she took the character because she didn't have any other job offers. And it seemed like she took the character because she didn't have any other job offers. Like that's exactly what it seemed like. Like she was just here just because, hey, I gotta get a paycheck, gotta do it. Gotta pay the mortgage, gotta do it. Here
I didn't think she was that bad.
No, I didn't think she was all in it because I didn't think she was bad at all. I think she's a very good actress. I think she's a very good actress, but I didn't think she wasn't like emotionally connected. I was not emotionally connected to her. Like I felt more connected. I understood where Calypso, Lucy Liu, and Calypso. I understood that. Hespera with Helen Mirren. I understood that. Her was kind of like a throw in at the end because we never had that connection with who she was as that god Athena. So I thought that was kind of weird. But I gotta say, Helen Mirren, I was worried about her because she's what 80. I don't know. Yeah. It's like and making her a super villain. How do you see how's she gonna be menacing to me? Like I look at her and I don't see her being very menacing. And then Lucy Liu, don't get me wrong. If I'm Bill Murray, I'm probably afraid of Lucy Liu. But besides Bill Murray, who else is gonna be afraid of Lucy Liu? Like it didn't make sense. They weren't menacing enough for me. And I look at them. They're just very nice. They're very smiley. They're sweetheart characters. And it's hard seeing them.
Lucy Liu was pretty intimidating in Kill Bill, to her credit.
Yeah, I think Lucy Liu was the more intimidating, but also I think she was supposed to be. She was, because she was the chaos one.
Yeah, that's what
Calypso. Yeah. So, we said the Thor treatment, fellas. Yeah, they treated Shazam like Thor. No, not even close. It's Thor was made a goofy because they're goofy. I would say Shazam has always been goofy, but the problem is not the writing, and it's
the way Zachary Levi did.
It's Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Like I liked him as Shazam, but then I don't, because I'm like he's a 30-something-year-old man trying to act like a 17-year-old, but also trying to act like a 17-year-old in like today's world. It's like he's trying to say Mimi kind of Gen Z type of stuff, and it comes off so cringy at times, and that's not because of like they want to make him goofy. I think it's like, dude, you're an old man saying Gen Z kind of thingies, and it's not working. But then the problem is Asher Angel, Billy Batson doesn't do that. You know what I mean? He doesn't because there was a perfect time when they're playing the game, like they're playing Call of Duty and stuff like that, and they never, like, that would have been the perfect time for him to like say all these like tropey like video game kind of things that people say, and he did it. So for me, it was more Zachary Levi, because I like how he is as Shazam, but I think him and Asher Angel need to like sit down and like okay, this is how we're gonna play this character, because they're the same person, so they need to be on the same level, kind of like how Freddy was with both versions of Freddy. With Jack Dillon and Adam Brody, was like they understood it. They understood who this character is.
Everyone else was exactly the same except
yeah. So I thought they were gonna actually kill Shazam. I thought that
I didn't say any of them were going to be strong enough to kill Shazam. I didn't think those characters they were menacing enough to do that.
Well, I thought he was going to kill himself. Like he was going to sacrifice himself to finish off the battle. And I know that's another thing you said. Do you guys think the Billy was actually going to die as well? But I never got that. I never, maybe a little bit for like a brief second at the end. I'm like, oh, is he going to like sacrifice himself to save the world kind of thing?
The entire time I thought that we were going to get Wonder Woman. After seeing, was it Digimon, whatever? After seeing him in that outfit, I was like, yeah, so I'm just waiting for Wonder Woman. I was like, yeah, no, and they foreshadowed it so much. The movie telling was so foreshadowed. Like I knew that we were going to get that at the end.
Yeah.
So I was just like, we need the power of God. But she's like, guess what? I'm a demigod. Like, power of Zeus, I can do this. You know, like it's like I saw that.
Yeah. But what's funny is how they talk. What do you mean? Like how Shazam was? Yeah, like he was over the top with it. He was so over the top with being like it, but none of the other people were like that. None of the other super versions of the kids were like that besides him. You know, like everyone else was like, hey, you know, like being normal kind of thing. And he was like, oh, come on, guys, we got to do this. We got to watch the replay, guys. I was like, dude, man, like it doesn't, what are you talking about? You're 17. You're not fucking 12. You know, it's like, but it made sense for Megan Good, for Darla. You know,
she's a little girl.
She was a little girl, but even then, she didn't over exaggerate it much. You know, she was just like
stole some kittens. You know,
yeah. You know, if we saw that was the kind of character that Billy Batson was, and if they, you know, just to kind of circle back around to this, if they didn't wait until, you know, the kid actors kind of aged out of, you know. If Billy
at the time they were filming, he was 18, 17 going to 18. He was the age of the character. So I don't feel like that was the problem. I feel that they just were on the wrong page. They just totally were just on like he was a 17-year-old and you know, Zachary Levi was acting like he was 13.
Yeah.
Like he didn't read the script. He was like, oh, wait a minute, you're 17?
No, I think he did what the script was asked of him. It's just that maybe I don't know if the screenwriters were just writing two very different scripts for these characters.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the screenwriter, I forgot what his name was. Maybe he kind of failed on a fundamental level to understand how a 17-year-old kid would talk.
Yeah,
you know,
but how do you get it right with everyone else and then fail with the main character?
I'm not sure because they've done it twice at this point.
Yeah, they really did. Because I thought if he died, it would probably have changed when Gunn became in charge. Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been a nice little send off for the character, and like, oh, and now we're done with this version of Shazam. But
instead. Give us two credit scenes and credit scenes. Like, all right.
So they're cringe today, and that's how they talk. So what's given is what you're gonna get. Nah, man. Like, don't be a boomer, Derpy.
Don't be a 20-year-old boomer, Derpy.
No, I don't think it's cringe. It's just they have their lingo, man. You know, like back when we were in high school, there was a certain lingo. Back when our parents were in high school, there was a certain lingo. It's just. It is what it is. You know, one of my favorite TikToks is somebody translating Gen Z into millennial, and it's like, oh, oh, that no cap, you know, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, that's, you know, saying they're not lying, you know, it's like, you know, so like all these like things like that, you know, but I think they had a chance to do it playing the video games, because when you play video games, there's all these like, you know, funny kind of things, you know, like, oh man, he just pwned me, you know, like, oh no, you know, I think you could have like made Billy more kitty that would have at least matched Zachary Levi, but I don't know, man. I don't know, but it was very cringy. I don't think it was cringy because that's just the way they talk. I think it was cringy because it was a damn near what, he's got to be 40, right? Yeah, a 42-year-old man trying to act like not even a 17-year-old, like a freaking 13-year-old.
Like a 13-year-old, that was the problem.
Well, you know that was going to happen no matter, you know. No matter who played the role of Shazam, because, you know, that's the whole point of the character. He's a man-child, but it's just the lack of correlation between Billy Batson and Shazam in terms of characterization.
Yeah,
you know, no matter who was going to play Shazam, you know, it was, you know, that was the assignment. You know, they were always going to act like a kid. You know, there just has to be more correspondence or correlation between the two characters. You know, so you know, Zachary Levi did what he was asked. Asher Angel did what he was asked. They both did fine in their own right. It's just you know,
it was two different rights.
There needs to be more. There needs to be more of a match.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, if depending on what happens moving forward, whether or not they keep moving forward with the same group of actors or they completely cast new ones and just scrap it, there just needs to be just more of a match.
Yeah. Which yeah. They never made it seem like these guys were like hanging out. I don't know.
Dude,
but he said the line, the line from the dead when he went, like, why? Oh, I thought it was the mom that said it. Like, why are our kids are into all these?
The mom did say it. Yeah, the mom did say it.
Yeah,
the dad
that was
the same thing too. He was like, "Yeah, I don't know."
Yeah, that whole thing with Rachel Zegler and Jack Dylan Grazer was pretty icky.
I'm 6,000 years old, and here's a kid.
Yeah. Well, I think that was it. The dad there was like, "Is this okay?" like, you know, and then later on with Wonder Woman, you know, the mom was like, "What's up with them liking older women?"
Yeah, somebody call Chris Hansen.
Right.
I was gonna say, there's a reason, Rosa.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
there's a reason. And look in the mirror.
They busted in your bedroom while you were sleeping and
blame yourself. That's all I got.
Blame yourself. Yeah. It was like, no worries, man. Yeah, it's like a funny line, so it don't matter. But yeah. It, like I said, it had its funny moments, but none of them went too far. Like a lot of people are complaining about the whole Skittles thing, and I thought it was good. They didn't overdo it. I think if they overdid, I think the second time when she's on the horse and she's like, "Taste the rainbow, mother," and then it cuts away. Yeah. I was like, okay.
That was funny.
That's getting to the edge of getting to the limit, but it never. Nothing got too much where it was like, you know, the 10th time we saw a screaming goat. So
yeah.
But
did you not like Digimon Hansu as the wizard? Because he was like, I like Billy Batson. And then I hate Billy Batson, and you're not worthy, and you've always been worthy. I was like, dude, you just 5 minutes he's not worthy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was fine with Jaimon Hansu as a, you know, acting wise, you know, because I don't think I've ever seen a bad performance from him. Just kind of had trouble, similar to what I've been saying with Asher Angel and Zachary Levi. Like I had trouble kind of buying that this was the same character that he played in the first one.
Yeah.
You know, they were very wholly different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not even a matter of like character development or character progression. They just seem like two different characters.
Yeah. And they never really explained why he was in jail either. Yeah.
Because you were under the assumption that he was dead.
He went away, and then they
in the first one.
That he went to a different plane of existence. He never died. He just went to a different plane of existence, and then he walked through the door from that plane of existence. So he's back into the original plane of existence. So now he's able to hold on to the staff and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and then they could use him if they want to recast everybody. They could just use him and say, "Oh yeah, it's all part of this thing."
Yeah. But I didn't hate it. It was a little annoying. I was like, dude is like every 5 minutes has a different feeling. But
I hate you. I love you. You've always been my favorite. I hate you. Why did I choose you? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was only 5 minutes. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But said what confused me is if the Flash ending the DCEU, why is Aquaman? We'll get into that in a little bit. We'll mark that for later. But cool, let's get into our ratings for this one. Bring it up. So we rate things a little bit different here, nice and easy. Now, later, never. Now means check it out now. Go run to the theater, check it out before it gets ruined. Later means you can wait till it's on streaming, not that big of a deal. And never means don't waste your time, don't waste your money, skip it. With that being said, Brandon, what you giving this one?
I think I'm gonna have to give this one a later. It's entertaining enough. It's a fun enough time. I think it did its job, but at the same time, I don't think it's really anything you need, like rush and go knock down the door to go check out. It's especially with the DC universe kind of being retooled anyway, and this may or may not even being a part of that. It's as fun a time as I had, as entertained as it kept me. I don't really think it's anything that you need rush out for. It was fine, but it's not like, oh, go see it now. I'm not. I'm not as excited for that as I am, like John Wick or Dungeons and Dragons. It was fine enough, but it's like you don't have to. There's no rush. You don't need to put a rush on it. So I'll give it a later.
Okay, what you giving it, Brian?
I'm giving everything that's coming out this year from the DCEU a later, because the DC already told me, Warner Bros. Already told me it doesn't matter. I felt that way before the movie. I saw the movie. Now I saw the movie, and I'm still giving you the same exact answer of what I thought before. Like literally, they already told me it doesn't matter. They're not marketing it. They're not telling us when it comes out. And then we're supposed to like, oh, it came out, guys, and they're shooting themselves in the foot on purpose. I don't understand why they did two in credit scenes, but it's a later because no one needs to see it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, so it gets a later. So if it did matter, maybe I'll be like, yeah, it was good enough to go watch. If you have nothing to watch this week, go watch it. No, it doesn't matter. It's not going to go anywhere with the DCU, and it's a later. Done. I'm going to say the same. You can copy that, cut it up, and put it in every DCEU movie that comes out this year.
With it, I mean, I'll give this one a benefit of the doubt where Shazam number 1 had nothing to do with the DCEU.
But you just said it was a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah,
it's not.
It came out in the section. It was supposed. I think it was supposed to become part of something, but then The Rock, ruined it because they set up the ending of Shazam 1 for The Rock to be the bad guy, and then The Rock's ego got in the way. He's like, "Hold on, I'm the main guy," So The Rock ruined this movie, and Warner Brothers ruined this movie by not marketing it. So. It for me, it's a fun movie. It was good. I think if you like the first one, you're gonna like this one. It's really in the same exact kind of vein of it all. It's everything's the same. Just different villains. I mean, the weapon that the villain uses is the same. I mean, that's how much of the same it is. So it's definitely a later. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time. The villains were okay. The story was okay. All the acting was okay. It was a little goofy at times, which what you expected, especially after the first one. So for me, it's a later. Nothing too crazy for it. And like Brian said, it's not tied into what's coming up next. So especially if you like a big cinematic universe, then it's definitely not that important. You can wait till it's on streaming when it's on HBO Max or something like that. But yeah,
the way the numbers are looking, that might be tomorrow.
You are not lying. You are not lying. So Rotten Tomatoes, the audience gave it 87, which is not bad.
That's good.
Which is not bad for an audience score, but the critics gave it a 53 on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's
what's funny is because the first Shazam, the critics gave a 90.
Did they?
Yeah, and what most critics are saying is that once again the same stuff that we're saying is the characters aren't equal. They don't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that was the biggest issue. But in the first movie, I was able to look away enough where I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, But I'm like, but now it's like, no, like you need to know how these characters need to be the same person because they are the same person. So and that was the issue they had. But we said Taxi Gamer said, except for the Flash. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see it first. I might still say the same thing. Like it's a later. It's a great film. Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just not interested in giving the Flash any of my money.
Yeah, that's like the more and more I think about it, the more and more I might.
You guys are just saying that because you're afraid.
What?
I mean, I'm saying that because Ezra Miller's just a trash human.
Yeah, but I'm saying because you realize Warner Brothers is still Warner Brothers, and they for all the money, man. I'm gonna say if it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have enough time tonight to go down that alley.
Yeah, exactly. Fair play. Yeah. I don't want to support. I mean, me and my girlfriend, like especially my girlfriend, was like really like, I really don't want to see it because I don't want to support Zachary Levi. You know what I mean? But it looks like no one did, so that's not that big of a deal because it only made $30 million.
What?
Which is insane. I think originally this was a tracking at 85 initially. Then it kept dropping. The lowest I saw was about 40. I think was the last time I saw what they projected it at, and it did even worse than that. This is, I believe, the second. Well, if you count a cartoon, this is the third lowest of the DC movies. So the worst of the worst was Super Pets, right? That did the worst opening weekend. And then right above that was the Suicide Squad, James Gunn Suicide Squad did the second worst opening, and then this is the third worst opening for a DC movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Which,
it's possible that it makes more money worldwide than it does domestically.
Oh, 100%. Worldwide markets love the comic book movies, especially it not being like, a minority.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. So I can definitely see that, but where do you think it's going to end? Is it going to hit it probably hit 100?
Oh yeah, it's at 64 million. Worldwide.
64 right now. Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah, so it's going to hit somewhere like 250.
Yeah, I can see that. Probably under or over Black Adam. Black Adam is almost 400.
It's under.
It's on.
It might be under that. Yeah.
It's under Black Adam.
It'll probably be under that. Yep.
Because Black Adam came out in November when nothing else was coming out until you got to Avatar. See, the problem is next week we're talking about John Wick already. I'm like sitting there scratching about John Wick. 2 days.
Yeah. The next 3 weeks: John Wick, Dungeons and Dragons, Super Mario. Yep. By Super Mario, no one's talking about Shazam. So yeah.
Like, did that come out yet?
Yeah. Dang. So, but yeah. So before we go, one last thing: the post-credit scenes. Yeah. I didn't know there was 2. I only seen the first one, the mid-credit, I guess. I don't know if we should. I guess spoilers with that one.
It doesn't matter. No one's going to see it.
No one's going to see it. So, what's her name? The 2 guys from Peacemaker and from Suicide Squad. What's her name? Something Heart, Cold Heart. What the hell's her name? I can't think of her name. But James Gunn's wife, which is why a lot of people were pissed off about that. And then Steve Agee's character, which was the big goofy kind of guy in Peacemaker. They show up and they're inviting Shazam to be part of the Justice Society, not the Justice League, the Justice Society. So I wonder.
They said we want you to join the Justice League. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in. I did it. And then they're like, Society is like, is that like the B team?
Yeah. That's
what you get for the B movie. You get the B team.
Yeah, you get the B team. And then I think that was kind of cool. That was kind of like fun. So the rumor was it was supposed to be Hawkman and Dr. Fate, or Hawkman and the Cyclone chick. That's who it was supposed to be.
Or like Dr. Fate, that would have been pretty cool.
Well, I think since he died. But it was supposed to be, I know for sure, Hawkman and one of the other 2. That's who it was supposed to be. But then issues happen, this and that. Obviously, Warner Brothers is going through a bunch of shit right now with DC. So the director, because Peter Safran was producer on this one as well, and now he's the new guy in charge. He made some phone calls and he brought in those 2, and did the same kind of thing, but with 2 different characters. So. Yeah,
it would have been better with Dr. Fate and Hawkman. It would have been amazing.
It would have been. I think because then you could set it up. Then this movie matters for maybe possibly going forward. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know with that. But one of the funniest parts of that whole thing was like him looking at different names that have justice in it, and he was just like, he goes, "Oh, there's too many things," and he says, "What the Avengers Society or something like that," and that was kind of funny. That put a smile on my face. That was kind of goofy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Levi is funny. He's a fun guy. It's just that it just didn't match this one movie, but he's fun. I liked him as Shazam. I mean, I did.
Yeah. So that's after that I left. So there's a second post-credit scene.
Yeah,
but this one I don't know.
So do you remember Dr. Savannah?
Yeah, Mark Strong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they revisit him in jail.
Oh, he's not dead?
No, he's in jail.
No, he's not Dale. Yeah, still writing stuff on the on the symbols on the prison walls.
On the wall.
Yeah, so the whole wall's covered with prison, all the writings and stuff like that. And then the little caterpillar thing walks in. The worm villain thing walks in. He's like, dude, I've been waiting for you for 2 years. What's taking you so long? He's like, I don't walk fast. And he's like, I'm about to tell you my entire plan. And my entire plan, oh man, I forgot something. And he walks off. Slowly again.
Slithers off all slowly.
He's like, what are you doing, Mr. Mind? Well, come get back here. And yeah, that's kind of where it's.
That's kind of funny.
That's left hanging still.
Waiting for the evil worm thing. Okay. Okay. Not too bad. So the second one doesn't really set up anything. It's just kind of like a goof on the first one.
Yeah, it's
wasn't it supposed to set up the Monster Society of Evil?
Wow.
I'm not sure.
It was supposed to set up because like Mr. Mind, Dr. Savannah, you're gonna get the Monster Society of Evil. You're gonna get the all the bad to go against all the Shazam, and they were supposed to be with The Rock. And then now you have Shazam and Black Adam versus the Monster Society, and they both joined the Justice Society. So you have the Justice Society versus the Monster Society, and that's what it was supposed to be. So my question is, why the hell did they even show that?
See, I wouldn't have thought it. Like, I guess you could do that, but I think it was just a funny like callback too. That doesn't necessarily have to set anything up. It could just be a funny callback. Because I didn't know about the whole Monster Society thing. Well, it makes sense.
It was supposed to be at the end of the first Shazam. That was what was supposed to be in set up.
Yeah,
that was what they're supposed to be doing, and they never really covered it. It just was. I'm
telling you, man.
Delivered on.
The Rock shot this franchise down worse than Warner Brothers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
James Gunn.
He put his ego first.
Guys, this movie would have done well if James Gunn didn't tell you it didn't matter. This movie would have made money if James Gunn didn't say this movie didn't matter. It's on him. They didn't market it, and they already told you it doesn't matter, and that's what killed it. I blame them 100%. Do you want to blame The Rock? The Rock's a dude. He's just, even if The Rock was in it, this wouldn't have made money if he said it doesn't matter going forward. As soon as he said that, all bets were off.
See, but does it though? Because Zachary Levi was asked a question like, "Oh, so they're replacing you?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I don't think so." Because Zachary Levi believes he's not being recast. He believes Shazam is moving forward.
He might be right, but it doesn't matter. But once James Gunn said what he's, this is the end of the DCEU as we know it. No one's going to go see this movie.
Yeah.
He did it more than Black Adam because they could recast Black Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Candy the Rock is freaking.
What if they made Vin Diesel it?
Oh God.
Family.
Yeah. At least that would make more sense.
Well, he at least would have been a team player.
Yeah.
Really, he would talk like this and advantage to driving a really cool car.
Black Adam driving a cool car.
he
Dodge Charger.
He would have made Black Adam a very boring character, but at least he would have been a team player.
Yeah.
This is the widow's peak. In the ears. It has to be about my family, which means it has to be about him. Don't mistake. When he says family, he means me.
Sure.
Me. I'm my own family. All right. But cool. Let's move on to some other stuff. So Toxic Gamer said, I gotta go hit you guys. Nice hanging out with you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
We'll say all again. Yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us for the review. We'll check out your review when it comes out too. So I know Toxic Gamer, go check them out. But cool. That's our review for this one. It went on a little bit longer than I expected, but it was all good. It was a good conversation. Because it's bad. It sucks when it's a good movie and everything just fails on it, but we'll see.
I blame Warner Brothers, and I don't believe in them until they show me I should. I just don't. I won't.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me for 28 years, shame on me.
Yeah, it's been that long. I was like, is it? Yeah, it's been. But cool. So we're gonna move on to another topic. But before we do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We need some help getting to 1,000, and hitting that like button helps push us to more people, and hitting that subscribe button helps us get to 1,000. So make sure you do those two things. If you're watching on replay, thank you, appreciate it. Leave a comment down below how you like Shazam: Fear of the Gods. Did it suck? Did it not suck? Let us know your thoughts on that one. And if you're watching live, stick around because we are going to talk about some other stuff.